ahead and get started. So hi, everybody. Welcome to our Add-ons community meeting for October. I guess today is October 19th, because why not? 2020. We're joined today by Sylvain Shavam and Jorge. I'd like to give a shout out to contributor Deepika Karanji. She's been really terrific. She's landed a lot of really great improvements to the Web Extensions API in Firefox, and we just wanted to give her a special shout out because as we've opened a new outreachy internship application round, we've seen her helping out other folks who are contributing to the Web Extensions API as part of their application process. So it's really great to see folks helping other people out. That's definitely the kind of community we want to encourage. And so we just really appreciate it. And we're glad that she's spent her time with us in improving a product that we know and love. So thanks so much, Deepika. All right, just a couple of updates today. So today might be a pretty short meeting. Number one is I wanted to give a shout out to the Web DNA survey. So this is a developer survey that MDN runs every year along with a bunch of other browsers. So this is kind of like an all hands on deck. It's a survey that kind of asks about, you know, where your pain points are with developing for the web, what resources you find useful, et cetera. And this information that we receive gets shared between other major browser vendors. So Google is part of it, Microsoft's part of it. I think Apple is also part of it, but I'm not 100% sure. And we really do appreciate and value responses to this. It kind of helps us it helps Mozilla kind of get oriented in a direction that, you know, is seeing the needs of our developer community and helping us make some decisions about how to best help them meet those needs. So please, if you haven't done so already, we definitely encourage you to take the survey. There's nothing in there that's specific to browser extension development, but we think that there's the questions about like HTML, JavaScript, and CSS probably apply. And I believe there's a comment at the end, or a section at the end where if you want to leave a comment about it, you can. A browser extension development, you can. And then share it with all your web dev friends. That would be really great. So that survey will be open, I think, for another couple of weeks. I think you can also hit it if you go to MDN, and you'll also, I think, see a little link to take the survey. So yeah, that would be really great. The other thing I wanted to mention was that this week, the Adblocker Developer Summit will be hosted virtually. It's on European time, so for folks who live in the Pacific time zone, it may be a little bit of a challenge to get to, but it looks like it's going to be another great event. And our own Philip Kewish and Rob Wu will be speaking about the future of ad blocking in Firefox. Also noticed that there's going to be some pretty strong representation from the Chrome team there as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. And if you're interested in ad blockers, definitely check it out. So we mentioned earlier that we're currently running an outreachy project. This round's project is going to be about improving Firefox containers. So the container feature is actually not owned by our team, but we overlap quite a bit because multi-account containers is a Mozilla line extension. So it's an official product by Mozilla that users can add to their browser to add that particular feature. And so the team has a couple of ideas for how they can take this a little bit further. And we'd love to have an outreachy intern tackle it for a couple of months this winter. So some things that this project will be working on is improving the internals of the extension framework to support isolation by containers, extending the existing extension APIs to support container-specific functionality, And then the most exciting one, which I think is maybe the one that's a little bit of a stretch goal, is developing a mechanism and a user interface to allow users to toggle add-ons in containers. So if you have like a general shopping container and you say, okay, I want to let X, Y, and Z add-ons run in this container, but in no other container, so they can't track my history. That's what this part of the project would entail. So we're currently seeing some applicants come in and make their first contributions and start talking to our mentors. If you're on Matrix, a lot of them are happening, a lot of these conversations are happening in the add-ons channel. So if you see some folks working on some good first bugs or asking questions about this, please feel free to give them a warm and friendly welcome. We absolutely love seeing their contributions, and we're really excited to host another outreachy intern this year. So Rob and Luca will be mentoring these. Rob and Luca are our Rockstar mentors. So they're also going to be overseeing this project. So just in other news, I wanted to provide an update about Fission. So Fission is a project that Mozilla has been working on for about a year now, maybe a little bit longer than that. But Fission is going to redo the architecture of Firefox to isolate cross-browser, or sorry, cross-site scripting. So each script will run in its own process. So we had some questions about when this was going to be enabled by default. We did a little bit of investigation into it last week, and it looks like an experiment was deployed last week that would enable Fission by default in for a small subset of Firefox nightly users. So you can check to see if you are included in the cohort by going to about preferences and then going to the experimental section, and it should show you if you're opted into the Fission experiment or not. If you weren't enrolled in it, you can opt in to Fission, and in fact, we're asking folks to do that just to help us kind of get a handle on any early bugs. Fission is going to be one of those things that rolls out really slowly. We're not anticipating this to roll out to 100% of users until, or even 100% of nightly users until like April of next year. We're doing this really slowly because it can be kind of difficult to find bugs or track down what's going wrong with bugs related to Fission. And so we want to make sure that we're going slowly and taking care before we unintentionally break things for other people. So the thing about Fission is that if there's a couple of different types of extensions that are going to be impacted by Fission. We talk about them a little bit on the blog. Jorge recently published a blog post about extensions in Firefox 82. So definitely, if you are the developer of an extension that's in one of those categories, you should definitely opt into Fission and start testing your extension to see if there's any breakages right now, and make some updates. Like we're deprecating an API, and we've expanded some other APIs to replace similar, or like to do similar functionality. So just getting your extension updated before this goes any further would be super awesome. I guess any questions about any of that? All right, cool. So then just checking in on some other fun stuff around the ecosystem. So as part of our promoted add-ons pilot program, we've recently launched a little sponsored shelf on AMO. So if you visit the homepage, addons.mozilla.org, underneath that main banner hero area, you should see a secondary shelf that lists a couple of extensions. This is our sponsored area. So when the program graduates, the idea is that developers who are enrolled in the verified program can pay an additional fee in order to be given sponsored placement right there on the homepage. So right now we're tracking information to see, how, like what happens when you sponsor, or what happens when you put those extensions on the homepage. What are the results of that? And then the other, I think that's the only thing new in terms of, that's the only thing new that users will see about the promoted add-ons program. You can also see add-ons that are enrolled in the pilot program, but haven't opted in for the sponsorship. They're now noted with a green check mark that shows that they're verified extensions. So those are also live on AMO. There's only a few of them. So I think there, yeah, there's like 12 or 13. So we're having, yeah, we have a really small cohort. So that is moving along. And then the last thing is we just got out of a meeting to talk about Phoenix, where we were talking about some potential next steps. So it looks like we have a couple of things lined up for us, and around being able to install recommended extensions directly from AMO. And that, I think that was the big one. That was the biggest milestone that I think that we're looking forward to for Q4. So we're starting to take a look at that and finalize some other plans. And now that we're kind of socializing these plans and getting them, you know, filing bugs for them, I think we'll probably have a blog post update coming up pretty soon to kind of share what the next steps are for Phoenix and add-ons. And that pretty much wraps it up. We're asking some of our admin reviewers to take a look at some of the user comments that get moderated or that get flagged for moderation on AMO. So sometimes people leave less than helpful reviews. And so there's, so our admin reviewers are now going to start taking a look at those as part of their kind of like content oversight of the ecosystem. Before I was mostly the person, me and Andreas every now and then would be able to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to address some of the moderated flags a little bit earlier than usual. And that's all I've got. Anyone else have anything that they'd like to share? Okay, very cool. Okay, yeah, so so short meeting today for sure. We'll be back in another 2 weeks where we can talk about more exciting updates in the world and also in the add-ons ecosystem. Until then, take care, keep building awesome stuff, and we'll see you in the future.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Bye, everyone.